Hello, it's me, French Ted, and we are back for episode number 27, I want to say. And we are in September now. We are post that previous episode where we went through the roster and blah, blah, blah. Half the people that we put offers in have signed. There's still a few people yet to sign, and there's also one other woman that I have offered a contract to as well, Megan Bain. If you know, you know. But yeah, she'll be appearing soon. Probably next episode is when the rest of them will make their debuts and such. Not all of them are debuting today, but you will see a couple of the new faces that we put offers in for. Yeah, we are now working on the build-up to our next pay-per-view. I can't remember for the life of me what it's called, but we are working towards that today. But first, your boy was right. We got Joe Anaway here, also known as Roman Reigns, debuting his new gimmick. He's not the head of the table. He's the ultimate badass. Wins and losses have great impact on his popularity changes. Small penalty to star quality during matches. Penalised losing comedy match and penalised being in comedy bouts, which, you know, he's not going to be in. Double checking this, he was penalised for being rusty. Told you he'd be rusty. Thankfully he's rusty because, you know, a 51 is a bit doggy, if you ask me. Should be a lot better than that. And I'm very excited for when it is. But in our first pre-show match, we've got 3 today, just because, you know, I was feeling frisky. Joe Anaway defeats Michael Oku with submission with the guillotine choke. I love the guillotine choke. I think it's like, if I was a wrestler, that would be one of my finishers. I think it's so simple, but it looks, you know, just, I wouldn't want to be in one, basically. But Joe Anaway with a 51 and Michael Oku with a 64. Joe Anaway, of course, getting the win in a 62 rated match. Following on, our next pre-show match is Leon Slater taking on Tracy Williams. Hints as Leon Slater face turn didn't go down well. Who still remember his recent turn? What recent turn? Does it mean debuting as a heel? Yeah, spoiler, I'm going to have Leon turn face very soon. I mean, I'm kind of not fussed if it goes awry. So I'm just going to pull the trigger as and when I want to. But this one had superb wrestling. And a decent reaction from the crowd. It is Leon Slater defeating Tracy Williams by submission. 66 rated match. Again, pretty good. Awesome. Yeah, we need to get Tracy some wins. It's quite funny. I said that in the last episode. You know, let's give Tracy some wins. And here I am having him lose on the pre-show. But yeah, we wanted Leon Slater to get a win under his belt, to be fair. 66, you know, not bad. Pretty good. And then our final pre-show match was just a thrown together tag team affair in our women's division with a few of our new signings. We have got Martina, formerly known as Session Moth Martina. I just like Martina. And Zia Brookside taking on Debbie Keitel and Becca. Oh, that Becca picture does not look good here, does it? Man, she's got a 5 head. We should call her Be5ka. That doesn't work. I mean, it's just her hair's pulled back. Leave her alone. In a decent pre-show match, Martina and Zia Brookside get the win. They defeat Debbie Keitel and Becca in 18 minutes when Martina pins Becca with a satellite DDT, a 54 rating. You know, not the best, but it's good to see where Martina's at, and it looks like she's doing pretty well, a 56. She's got the party girl gimmick. Wins and losses have greater impact on popularity. Okay, good to know. So yeah, Martina getting the win in this one, 56, pretty good. Zia Brookside, 44, getting a little bit better each time. Becca, 39, you know, Becca's a little bit low, so we won't worry too much about that. And Debbie Keitel with a 52. Fair enough. This does take us into our main show now, and we open, I believe, because I don't actually have my notes in front of me, with a Prince of the Lariat League title defense. Mark Andrews is opening the show, and he is defending his title against a debutante in the name of Shun. Oh my god, an 81. Sorry, Shun Skywalker. Wow, an 81. I was not expecting that. Okay. They don't even have great chemistry. Imagine if they had great chemistry as well. In About That had superb wrestling. That's my favourite word. And a decent reaction from the crowd. Mark Andrews defeats Shun Skywalker in 24 minutes with the shooting star press, making defense number 1 of his Prince of the Lariat League title. And 80, how's this an 81? 72, 75. We had it was work the crowd. Here we go. Bonus for selling, high morale. Selling is so important. Like in my AEW save, Ospreay can get like 95 plus rated matches if he really wants to, but his selling is so dog shit that it always gets a negative. High morale. Shun's an amazing heel. Awesome. Yeah, bonus for being a good start to the show. I mean, yeah, and a fantastic start to the show. I was a bit unsure as to give Mark Andrews the belt, to be honest, but this has just proved me right. So well done, Ted. Thank you, Ted. Moving on though, Joe Anaway comes out and we think, oh, here we go, he's gonna spear the life out of Andrews again. But in fact, Joe Anaway comes out and apologizes to Mark Andrews. He says, look, last week wasn't about you. It was about making an entrance that people are gonna remember. So sorry. And Mark Andrews is like, it's okay. And Joe's like, cool. And that's it. Simple segment. He's clearly enjoying all that freedom to go off script. But yeah, Joe Anaway is here to stay. Hopefully long term. I'm worried that as soon as the ring rust goes, he's going to end up in America. But I'm kind of really happy that we've got him now. So yeah, let's get to medium quick and I'll try to secure him. He is a WWE Trueborn, which means that means he has loyalty to WWE. But yeah, let's hope that that's not the case. 77, pretty good. Or we move on. Let's keep going. And we've got tag team action in our women's division. Rina Yamashita teaming up with the debuting May Sarah, taking on Aisha Ray and the new debuting Danny Luna in a 71. Whoa, this is going to be our best show because I know what the main event is, and I'm assuming the main event's going to be 70 plus too. In a bout that had superb wrestling again and a decent reaction from the crowd, Rina Yamashita and May Sarah defeat Aisha Ray and Danny Luna in 15 minutes when Rina Yamashita pins Aisha Ray of all people with the Splash Mountain. Obviously Rina being our new queen of the Lariat League. And May Sarah doing an awesome debut at 68. Keep in mind she's 23 years old. Honestly, no clue who she is. I know she's in Stardom in real life. I'm gonna definitely have to look it up. She's killing it already. What a debut. Debuted her Moonstar gimmick, great. Danny Luna, her bad attitude gimmick, got adequate, got the crowd buzzing as well. Danny Luna, with a 52, that's pretty good. She can slot in nicely in the mid card. And yeah, really good match. Let's just confirm these. So losses do not damage popularity as much as usual. Love that. And a small boost to microphone skills. So if May can speak English, then that will be very useful. I doubt she can, but hey ho, we'll have a look later. Following this though, we've got an interview with Drew Galloway. William Regal is interviewing Galloway pre-match. Drew Galloway set to face Charlie Sterling, Ashton Smith's tag team partner tonight in the main event. And Drew just says, I don't see the point in this match. We've already seen that I can defeat Ashton Smith. So having this match is just time wasting. I assume the plan is that I will be facing Ashton at the next pay-per-view event. So if it means having to defeat his boy Charlie Sterling, by all means, I will run through that man as I will run through Ashton Smith in 4 weeks time, something like that. So yeah, Drew Galloway very cocky here, and doing very well in the angle. I mean, William Regal carrying the angle, let's be honest, but Drew Galloway getting better at his gimmick, whatever that gimmick is. But that takes us to our main event of this show, Drew Galloway taking on Charlie Sterling, and I'm sure you can imagine how it's going to go. 75, look at that. 81, 71, 75. And who calls us a small company? Psh, just give us that medium title now. In a bout that had superb wrestling and good heat, Drew Galloway defeats Charlie Sterling in 22 minutes with the Claymore kick. Galloway with a 75 and Sterling with a 55. Sterling slightly underperforming here. But yeah, Galloway, you know, crushing it. I'm really glad that the ring rust is gone. I'm very excited for Joe Anaway to go as well. And then post-match, Galloway celebrating and Ashton Smith comes down to the ring, holding the King of the Lariat League title high and just staring down Drew Galloway, just being like, you want this? And Galloway's like, I'm taking it. So it looks like it's all but confirmed between Ashton Smith and Drew Galloway that will be our main event for the next pay-per-view show. But yeah, let's end this show. This is going to be a great show. I'm going to predict 78 rating. Let's see. 76. Oh, I know sometimes they up it, don't they? Yeah, 76 rating. I think this is easily one of our, I wouldn't say best. It might be our best, but most consistent. I mean, look, 81, 77, 71, 75, 75, 79. That 81 between Mark Andrews and Shun Skywalker has definitely, you know, surprised me, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, awesome. You know, what a way to start September. And lucky for you guys, it doesn't stop there because we have another show coming up right now. So let's not waste any time and let's dive straight into that one. I'll see you guys there. And we are back for the second show in this episode. And yeah, we're kicking off with some women's tag team action in the pre-show. Again, 3 pre-show matches, you lucky, lucky people. And we've got here the former Queen of the Lariat League, Heidi Katrina, teaming up with the debuting Steph DeLander as they take on Shakara and Kanji. And in a decent pre-show match, it's Heidi Katrina and Steph DeLander that get the win. They defeat Shakara and Kanji in 19 minutes when Heidi Katrina wins with the spear. Steph DeLander debuts her Python Powerhouse gimmick and it gets a rating of adequate. Receives a bonus when booked as dominant though, so that is something to keep in mind for future matches. Yeah, nice little pairing here, Heidi and Steph. I feel like in real life they'd be a pretty good pairing. And yeah, Shakara's numbers are not looking good. I mean, she is a positive influence in the locker room, but she's not doing very well in the ring. So something's got to happen, Shakara, and it's got to happen quick, my darling. Following this, though, we've got our Joe Anaway match just to get rid of that ring rust. And he's taking on Darren Bedell, our regen. And to be fair, Darren doesn't do that badly. He's got 35. He's getting better at his gimmick, which is interesting because I think his gimmick is already legendary somehow. And Joe Anaway with a 49. Yep, the rust is still there. Yes. And yeah, you can see here Darren Bedell gets bonus for his legendary gimmick. But he's penalised for inexperience. That's fine. He'll get experience. 48 overall. You know, we don't really care about this match. We just care that 1, Joe Anaway doesn't get injured, and 2, it's one step closer to getting rid of that ring rust. Following this, though, our final match, and I wanted to do this as a test because obviously Tanahashi wasn't the greatest. I didn't think Naito would be the greatest either, just to check. And yeah, looks like he's not. Let's see, is there any ring rust? Naito, no ring rust, and he's doing worse than Tanahashi. Okay, this is making me rethink having Naito in LLW because, you know, he's a megastar. We don't want him having lackluster matches. We don't want him dragging matches down. And this is a 58 with great chemistry. So I think this might be the first and last time we see Tetsuya Naito in LLW, if I'm being honest, which hurts me a lot because Naito was the man that got me into New Japan Pro Wrestling all those years ago. Yeah, sorry Naito. I will have to let you go onto pastures new. And to be fair, Tanahashi's probably going to go soon as well, especially when we've got all those other Japanese wrestlers that have got weirdly high popularity in the UK. Bring all those in. I mean, Shun Skywalker's already proven that, and he was only on 30 pop. But that's it for the pre-show matches. This was a little test, and I think they failed. But we're heading straight into the opening segment where William Regal has an announcement. So for the upcoming pay-per-view, which again, I've completely forgotten what it is. I think it's the Charles Dickens one, isn't it? What was that one called? It's really bad. I came up with them as well, and I can't remember. What was the Charles Dickens one's called? I don't remember at all, and I've got no notes with me to look it up. Either way, I think it's the Charles Dickens one. Tale of Two Cities. That's it, right? I think it's that. Might be wrong, but I think it's that. But either way, William Regal is announcing a number one contenders ladder match next week, and that will be the main event next week to decide who will become the number one contenders, obviously, for the Knights of the Lariat League. I'm thinking of doing a 3-way or a 4-way ladder match, a tag team ladder match, obviously, which should just be a really exciting match. So yeah, and that will introduce our Japanese pairing. One of them hasn't signed, the other one is actually in our main event tonight, just to see how he does. And I might create a new team for it as well. I might get the brainstorming, you know. But 78 to open the show, that's really good. It's William Regal on the mic, so you can't complain. But following this, we've got some women's action. Martina makes her main show debut as she takes on Zoe Lucas. And 41. We do not want to see that. Martina was off her game, so you know we'll let that slide. But in a decent match, it is Martina that comes out on top. She defeats Zoe Lucas with the Code Breaker. Martina with a 49 was off her game. Zoe Lucas with a 43 wasn't off her game. Come on, Zoe. Come on. Bout dragged in the middle, lack of flow being noticeable. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, this is probably one that could have been less than 20 minutes and it probably would have done a little bit better. But I do like to give women just as much time as men in their matches. But, you know, maybe we'll have to be a little bit more careful going forward. But following this, Dan Maloney is here. And he's not very happy. So he comes out to the ring and just lets us know that he was next in line to come out for the gauntlet. He was hoping that Dijak would wipe the floor with Mark Andrews. He was ready. He was right by the curtain, ready to come out. But Mark Andrews only had to go and bloody win. So Dan Maloney feels that he deserves a title opportunity and is requesting one from Mark Andrews. So we'll have to wait and see whether Mark Andrews accepts that. Can't see Andrews saying no. He's on a high right now, having 2 really good back-to-back matches since joining the company. But we will have to wait and see. I don't think this will be pay-per-view worthy if Mark Andrews does accept. So it will probably be on the next episode, it'll be on the next episode, but it'll either be the first or second show. If Mark Andrews accepts Dan Maloney's challenge. But yeah, that should be a decent one either way. Following this, though, we have a contract signing. Tyler Bate and Trent Seven are in the ring with William Regal as they sign the contracts for their match, the Trent's final match, and that will take place at whatever our next pay-per-view is. I think is a Tale of Two Cities, which the theme of that usually is your opponents will be from a different place. So, for example, kind of works. Drew Galloway is from Scotland, and Ashton Smith is from England. So they're from different places. Yeah. It might get a little bit more confusing, obviously, because Ricky Knight Jr. is from England, Colby Queen is from America. So their opponents, can they be from either? I don't know. But we might just drop that kind of gimmick. I tried to give each one a gimmick, but it doesn't need to be that deep for every show. Maybe just one match can be like that. But yeah, they're here, they're talking, they're saying some nice things about each other. William Regal is, of course, saying how fantastic both of them have been, how much of an influence Trent Seven has been to, you know, British wrestling. You know, Moustache Mountain was huge in Britain. If you weren't around for like the kind of peak of British wrestling indie days with Progress, you know, when they had like Pete Dunne, when Walter was there, I mean, Mark Andrews, as we've got here, Tyler Bate, Trent Seven, Mark Haskins, Kid Lycos, Chris Brooks, all of them. That was definitely the high point of British wrestling. But the high point is now, September 2025, because Lariat League is going to be massive. But yeah, just talking amongst themselves and all of that. And the contract is signed. No dodgy business, no funny business, nothing crazy happening. Just a nice little moment, just to break up the show. Following this, though, we do return to some wrestling, and it is Phantasmambo taking on Boisterous Behaviour, who you would imagine both of these teams will be in that number 1 contendership match next week. And in a Raw 72, in a bout that had great wrestling and good heat, Phantasmambo defeat Boisterous Behaviour in 1959, just on the cusp of 20 minutes, when El Hijo del Fantasma pins Leon Slater with a bridging German suplex. El Hijo with a 69, Leon Slater with a 72, go on Slater, Derice with a 50, and Chuck Mambo with a 51. This got the crowd buzzing, as it should, because these are two really great teams. And, you know, Phantasmambo have had a shot of the Knight's title quite a few times now, I think. Boisterous Behaviour have not, so anything can happen, I'd say. But post-match, Derice, even though he's a smiling little boy here, he is not happy, and he attacks Slater post-match. He just completely lays him out, clearly unhappy about the loss. And to be fair, these two have been losing a lot lately in tag team action. Slater gets quite a lot of singles wins, and maybe Derice is a little bit pissed off about that. So just to confirm the change, even though they say not to do it, I'm doing it. Didn't go well, who cares? Leon Slater's now a babyface. Derice remains a heel. After this, though, we've got a little cheeky promo from our boy Ashton Smith, our king of the Lariat League. Just a pre-recorded promo that he cuts on Drew Galloway, just saying, look, Drew, I get it, you're massive. Like, you are one of the greatest wrestlers to ever come out of the United Kingdom. And there is no doubt that you are one of the fiercest members of the LLW roster. And I'll admit, I am slightly concerned about losing my belt to you at the next pay-per-view. But as king of the Lariat League, having a legendary, history-making number of defenses in my first reign, I'm looking to equal and better that number this time round. You think I'm just going to drop the belt nice and easy? Well, you can think again. And by all means, you know, Claudio, if you want to get involved, bring it on. I will take both of you on. I've got Sterling by my side, and I'm sure that we can overcome whatever it is you decide to throw at us. So at the next pay-per-view, which I think is A Tale of Two Cities, I'll see you there, and I can guarantee you I'm walking out still king of the Lariat League. So yeah, nice little promo there from Ashton Smith, just basically saying the typical, you know, babyface spiel of, you know, you're a tough challenge, but I'm going to overcome it. And to be fair, Ashton's overcome quite a lot. Let's be honest, who expected him to take the title away from Tyler Bate all those months ago? Because I didn't. If you look back at the video, I kind of lost my shit during that. But this takes us into our main event. It's just like a marquee exhibition match. Pac is in the main event again because, you know, he gives us numbers. And we are trying out one of our new signings, going by the name of Ishi, because that's the name he has in Dragon Gate, so that's the name we're going to use here. So it's a battle of the capital lettered one name wrestlers. Let's see how we do. An 82, I will take that. I mean, that's mostly led by Pac looking at this, but in a bout that had superb wrestling, my favourite word, and great heat, Pac defeats Ishin in 20 minutes with the Black Arrow. Ishin with a 62, which, you know, isn't the best, isn't the worst. And Pac with an 81, because, you know, Pac's Pac, let's be honest. And yeah, he gets the win. 82 rated main event, love that. Ishin is using his cocky gimmick. You know, he's probably not as cocky now after being defeated by Pac in his debut, but he's waiting for his tag team partner to come. He's waiting for Diamante, is that the name? I can't remember. The guy in the mask. So yeah, I'm sure they will be in the ladder match next week, but seeing as though Boisterous Behaviour probably won't. But that is how we end this one, guys. You know, nothing too crazy happening. You know, Dan Maloney wants his 75. Whoop! I'm not even worried about these scores now. We know they're going to be good. We're just waiting for medium. But yeah, quite a lot of little things happened here. So the number 1 contender ladder match is announced for next week. That will be a fun one. That will be the main event of our first show. Martina doing okay, not the best. We found out that Tanahashi and Naito are probably gonna go. Anaway is still rusty, which sucks. Trent 7, Tyler Bate have signed their contract, so that is technically the first properly confirmed match for the pay-per-view, although we know that Ashton and Drew Galloway will have at it as well. Boisterous behaviour, I assume, have split up after some boisterous behaviour from Derice taking out Leon Slater, and Pac gets the win against the debuting Ishin. So yeah, pretty good show all round. Last show was also pretty awesome with the Mark Andrews Shun Skywalker match. And yeah, that's it for this one, guys. Next episode we will figure out some number 1 contenders across the board and finalize our card for the next pay-per-view, which I believe will be Monday. I think it's Monday. Monday, week 1 of October. I think. We'll find out. I might be wrong. But with that, please like, comment, subscribe, share, do it all. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.